Heavenly Father, we come to you in this hour, asking for your guidance and protection to our virtual gathering today. We thank you for the gift of life, the gift of family, the gift of work, and the gift of friendship. We thank you for this great opportunity to bring us together in this session as brothers and sisters. Bless the committee, the facilitator, and the attendees of this gathering. May we continue to value and appreciate the true essence and meaning of life with the help of your grace. And as we go along to our discussion today, we humbly pray that you would deepen our understanding. Lord, enlighten us and give us wisdom every day. Forgive us for our shortcomings and remind us to always be mindful of the things we do in life. We offer our life and our decisions to you, O Lord. May this gathering today create a memorable experience and a fruitful outcome. We ask this through our Lord Jesus Christ, our Redeemer and our Savior. Amen.
Good afternoon, educators. Welcome to the third upskilling session for teachers, and this will tackle about using ChatGPT and other generative AI for crafting test questions, rubrics, and scoring student responses. So here we have the duration of 2 hours in this upskilling session. So we are your resource speaker for this third session for generative AI. So I hope uh, you may use your, uh, I hope you have your desktop with you or desktop computer or PC for a walkthrough or for the live demonstration of ChatGPT and other generative AI. So we will just give you uh, ChatGPT prompts in crafting test questions, rubrics, and then scoring students' responses based from the rubrics. So I hope it is clear, and we have a different based from the attendance, your attendance. So we have coming from the College of Education, we have Office of Instruction, we have COPVA, we have CBA, and then other participants also are there. So at this moment, we will now dive to the creation of your test question using the generative AI. So first is I will give a short of demonstration by the use of the chat GPT. And then I will use another generative AI, for example, Perplexity, and then Gemini, and then other generative AI. Okay, so just give me a minute. So I will just turn another uh, screen. Okay. Okay, so I hope you can see now the screen. The what I am showing you is the chat GPT interface. Can you give me a virtual thumbs up? Okay, okay, thank you for the responses. Thank you. Okay, so I will just, okay, thank you. So at this point, so I will make it bigger. Will make it bigger regarding the screen so that you can clearly see the chat GPT prompts in creating your questions. For example, okay, so we will start with crafting test questions. For example, in this scenario, you have a lesson notes based from your field. Okay. So in here, you are telling ChatGPT to learn about your lesson, and then you can now provide the essential question types. It could be in the form of multiple choice, short answer, true or false, and other matching types. Example. So at this point, so I will just give a sort of scenario. So I will just first is present your lesson to ChatGPT. So I will just give a sort of conversation of ChatGPT. Let's say hello. So how can I assist you today? So I have lesson notes and you command ChatGPT. So I have lesson notes and learn from that. Okay, so you are giving a conversation. So this is the lesson notes colon, and then you provide now. This is a sort of presenting your lesson notes. So for example, in lesson 1, I will talk about health information system. So I will present to ChatGPT the lesson notes about health information system. So this is the lesson notes about ChatGPT. Okay, and then from that, okay, you will uh you will command ChatGPT to craft questions. So for example, your first output is to craft a multiple choice question and then give a rationale of that particular question. So example, provide 10 questions, a multiple question, provide a 10 multiple questions, and then and provide the P answers with rationale. So that's your prompt. Okay, so let's press enter key, and then here, as you notice, we have a sort of rationale. Okay, so it will generate or it will craft a question based from your lesson notes and then provide you the key answers, and then you have your rationale about that particular questions. Okay, and then in here, so you need to validate the specific questions. Okay, how about for example, true or false? provide true or false, true or false questions. Okay, so automatic, we have the first syntax is we have in this part, since we have commanded ChatGPT to create a 10 item test, so automatic, we have 10 item true or false, as well as the correct answer and rationale. So for this part, okay, do you have questions regarding crafting questions from our ChatGPT? Okay, do you have questions or clarifications? You can use the uh, Zoom chat box to have your questions, or you can try your questions, and then I will perform this via ChatGPT if you would like to ask some questions or clarifications. So that's is the easy way to prompt ChatGPT, so have a conversation to it, basing from crafting questions based from your given lesson notes. Okay. So again, you need to validate also the given test question from ChatGPT. So that's the usage of ChatGPT about crafting questions. And then how about other generative AI? So we have, I will just highlight the two. We have the Gemini is from our Google account. So in this part, you need to use your personal email account, because for our institutional email account, the su.edu.ph, this is somewhat restricted from using of Gemini. And then we have also the perplexity. So for example, if we go to the Gemini, so for instance, you will just give a prompt again. So example, this is as you notice, all of the database from ChatGPT, again, it is updated. So it probably have the database of 2024, as well as in Gemini, it's latest also, and then the perplexity. So in Gemini, so all you need to do is just log in using your personal email account. Okay, do not use the su.edu.ph. So in this part, you just simply provide your prompt to Gemini. So example, provide 10 questions, for example, 10 uh 10 multiple choice questions about ICT, and provide the key answers with rationale. So that is your prompt to Gemini, or the Google account AI or generative AI. So let's press enter key, and then the Gemini is generating the possible 10 multiple choice. So here you can see here, this is updated. So you have the question, and then the indicator, if that is the correct, is there is a key, okay, key answer. And then you have the rationale of the key answer. And then this is somewhat the same if you are making perplexity. Okay. So for example, again, as a teacher or as an educator, you need to validate the question generated from any AI tools. So for this one, this is a big help in making or crafting your questions. And then from here, let's use this same prompt to the perplexity. This is another AI, perplexity.ai. Okay. And then you just use, you can now use your SU or your institutional email. So here, you just simply give it a prompt. Okay. It's like ChatGPT and Gemini. So give it a prompt and then press enter key. Okay. You have it here. And then, so you have this one. So again, you need to validate the information given by generative AI. So in this part, you can use ChatGPT, Gemini, and then Perplexity. So those are some of the tips and tricks in crafting a question, okay? By providing a lesson notes or by just making a particular scenario, and then you just simply provide the instructions. Like example, you provide what type of question types, and then you give it key answers and rationale. So those are the simple prompts in making or crafting questions from your lesson notes. Okay, I hope uh, it is clear regarding the process. Or do you have questions or something to add on? Okay, so I give it a 1 minute. 1 minute to think of a question, or you just give a virtual thumbs up to continue to the next particular topic. Okay. So there's none. So can you give me a virtual thumbs up if we will continue to the next topic? Okay, thank you. Okay. So again to close this particular topic, don't okay, the simple steps that you need to do is you feed ChatGPT. Okay, so you have a sort of conversation of ChatGPT. Okay, so example, I just simply greet that ChatGPT, and then I I feed the lesson notes. So which is this one. So this is the lesson notes colon, and then you have this one. This is from my PDF version of my notes. I just simply copy it, and then ChatGPT will just give you a summarization of it, and then now you can proceed right away uh, the question types you are going to craft a questions. So in this one, I have 10 multiple questions, and then just provide me the key answers with rationale. Or you can have it specific feedback for each. Like for example, A, so specific feedback, B, specific feedback, and then and whatsoever. Okay. So again, as a teacher, you need to validate again the specific questions. Okay. So you can use ChatGPT and then Gemini for the Google account. So you just simply have it personal account, okay? Your gmail.com, okay? Because in our institutional email, it is blocked, okay? And then you have your perplexity, okay? So that's how you craft a questions, okay? So now let's proceed in creating now the rubric, okay? So let's make another conversation of ChatGPT. Okay. Like uh okay, so here, for example, you are asking ChatGPT to create an assessment rubric, particularly analytic rubric of your performance tasks. And then here, so for example, you set the, for example, in your analytic rubric, you set the components. So these are the components, and then ChatGPT will just simply provide that particular layout, okay, with the levels or performance levels. So for example, this or example, you give a scenario. Okay, so example, the performance is about role play, role play. The performance is about role playing, about role playing. For example, the performance is about Romeo and Juliet role playing. This are the set. So we'll just admit this one. Okay. These are the set of components from the rubric. Uh, let's say creativity, for example, organization, creativity, uh, teamwork, and then how about props? For example, this is your specific components. So make uh, analytic analytic rubric from this. So as you notice, ChatGPT are making a specific rubric, an analytic rubric based from your given parameters. Okay. So again, this is analytic. So you have your Romeo and Juliet performance, uh, performance stats. So you have here the components as well as the levels of the performance. So I have 4 levels of the performance. And then uh, this is in the form of analytic. So if example, if you want it holistic, can you you can just chat you can make you can have a conversation with ChatGPT. Like example, can you make it holistic rubric? Okay, so holistic rubric. So ChatGPT also give us the holistic rubric of this one based from the components you have set. Okay, so again, that's how generative AI works in creating your rubrics. It could be in these two famous types of rubric. We have analytic and holistic rubrics. So this is the same scenario if you will apply Gemini and then Perplexity. Okay. So those are some of the hints in giving uh, in providing you the rubrics, okay, for grading. Okay, so questions or clarifications from our attendees? Questions? Okay. Okay, so for this part, okay, so I will just end this topic of crafting question types as well as uh, designing assessment rubrics that could be in the form of holistic and analytic. So for this time, so I will give the floor to Sir Jade to continue regarding the scoring, okay? Scoring student responses based from our outputs, okay? Sir Jade?
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Sir Fred. So, this afternoon, I'm just going to have a continuation of the discussion. So, just to give it a context, I'm just going to give a short discussion, just a continuation of what Sir Fredley was discussing earlier about crafting rubrics using generative AI or any generative AI tools for that matter. So, let me just share my screen. Okay. So currently, I have two tools side by side. On the left side, I have my ChatGPT, and on the right side, I have the Gemini from Google. So let me just focus first on ChatGPT, and then later on, we can use Gemini Google for contrast. Just open this one. Okay. So how do we use these generative AI tools, like for example, ChatGPT, to basically score a an assessment. So let's filter down the assessment in terms of essay question. No, so can we use this tool to rate student answer or student submission, particularly essay question, based on the rubric that is provided by the tool, particularly by ChatGPT. So first, I have to ask the tool, or I have to ask ChatGPT first to create a rubric for me. So it's the same process with what Sir Fredley discussed earlier. So I always start with hi. So just a prompt, just to some sort of um, say that you are now active on the chat box with this particular tool. And then the next prompt is I'm going to contextualize what do you want to become, or let's just say in this case, let's say that this particular tool will pretend that he is a teacher, right? So I will say, let's say you are a teacher of, I will give an example of a particular subject, let's say nursing informatics. Okay, so it would create a response. It would say, sure, so how can I assist you with this particular subject? Then it's just basically creating a conversation with the tool. So I would say, I'm about to create a rubric for an essay, essay exam. Okay, so it gives you the outline in creating the rubric, right? Okay, like that. Okay, so the next is, you will ask ChatGPT to create the rubrics for you. Okay, so before you start creating, or before you start asking ChatGPT to create the rubric for you, siguro naman by that time you now have your question as to what kind of question you're gonna upload in or you're gonna, what type of question you'll be conveying to your student for that particular essay exam. So let's say for this example, I will be using this one. This is an actual question from an actual virtual classroom. No? So why do you think it's vital for nursing students to be oriented with the current and trending technologies? So this is an essay question. I will be copying this one, and I will just ask ChatGPT, can you create a rubric for me out of this question? Okay. So can you create a rubric um, based or out of this question? And then I'm just gonna separate it with the question mark, and then I will be enclosing the question with double quote, and then boom. So you don't need to put any criteria. ChatGPT will basically um, create the criterias for you. If you'll notice, it's more of a a list format now. So I will ask ChatGPT, can you make the rubric in tabular format? Of course, it will now. So this is now a classic example of a rubric in a tabular format, and then you can use this one to for your essay question. So let's try to have another conversation. So this is one output. No? So we have to take note that with ChatGPT or any generative AI for that matter, it's a different outcome in each of in each conversation. So different conversation is unique, and different conversation has a different outcome. I will try to create another um, this one conversation. So I will say hi. Okay. Same again. Let's say you are an instructor for the subject nursing informatics. Okay, so just let it do its thing. It's basically gives some description about that particular subject. And then I will say, create a rubric, create an essay rubric based on this question, right? You have the question. Let me just copy the question. There. So if you'll notice, I have the same set of prompts, but it gives me a different output. Earlier, it gives me a list of, it looks like a list of the criterias with their description, and this one is like this is the most common kind of rubric used in our classes, right? So you have the criteria, and then you have the levels here. You have excellent, proficient, basic, and needs improvement. Okay. So given the current rubric that you have, let's just say you will be using this particular rubric to rate the submission of your students. So if you want ChatGPT to rate the submission of the students based on the rubric that is provided, what you can do is this. Um, for me, I am used to using ChatGPT in terms of prompt. I actually prompt, or I actually every time I have a prompt, it's more like it's just a one command. So I don't necessarily I mean I don't usually include lots of instructions in one line, in one command. I actually do it one by one. So I would say, uh, can you rate the answer of my students on this question, or in this question? Can you rate the answer of my students based on this rubric na lang? Based on this rubrics. Okay. Of course, I need to ask you, please provide the answers. So if your exam is in my soul, or yeah, it's if it's in our LMS, you can actually download the exam, and then when you download it, it's in Excel format. So if you want, you can also copy and paste it directly from Excel to ChatGPT. But what I did is just I copied the submission of the students from the Excel format to Microsoft Word, and then I separated it with number, because that would be part of my prompt later. So I will be copying this one. This is just 10 submissions, from 10 students. Okay, now rate the submission, rate the answer of the students below. They are separated by a number. And then I will paste the submission, and I will just send it to ChatGPT. So it's now rating the submission of the student, and it now gives you the final rate of the student. So for student 1, out of 4, uh, that student got 3, and with same with all the other students, they got their own results. So siguro most of the time our quizzes is not just over 4. So let's just say, can you convert the result to over, let's just say, 50? So this quiz is 50 points. So it will basically convert it to 50. So with that, you now have a rubric, and then you already rate the submission of your students in just under a couple of minutes, with just a few prompts with ChatGPT. Okay, and you can easily also convert. For example, if you want this quiz to be over 100, or over a specific number like 20 or 25, based from the rubric, from the 4-to-1 rubric that you can easily convert it with ChatGPT. So that's how easy it is to rate essay questions or AC answer from the students using ChatGPT. So let's try with other AI platform. For example, let's try to have the Gemini from Google. Okay, let's go with Google. Okay, so this is Gemini. This is a generative AI popularized by Google. So previously known as Bard, and right now they rename their AI to Gemini. Let's say hi. Okay, and then let's say you are a teacher or an instructor of the subject nursing informatics. Okay, same prompt. Again, just let the generative AI do its thing. It will basically just describe what the prompts that you just included there. Okay, and you will say here, create a rubric based on the question, based on this question. And then you might want to include separators. So I'm just separate it with a colon, and then I will enclose the question with a double quote. Okay. So you take note that we did not include, or we did not actually we did not include any criteria. We will just let the AI make the criterias for us. What we only provide is the question. So enter. So based on the question that was provided, you now have a rubric. You have this one, understanding of technology's impact, and all the other criteria that were provided by the AI. And with the given rubric that you have, you can then rate the submission of the students. You will just say, um, can you help me rate the submissions based on the provided rubrics? Let's wait. Okay. And then I will now paste the submission of the students. Copy. Here are the submission of the students separated by number. And then you can paste it. Oh, sorry. Okay, so there are 10 submissions. It's now working. It's now checking the submissions. Okay, so this is a classic example of the limitation of generative AI. No, so each platform, like for example, we actually use the same number of word length or character length with ChatGPT, and ChatGPT actually accepts all the characters in that particular length. But for Gemini, if you'll notice, it only processes up until what? Here it did not even give the result for submission number 10, because each of these platforms, they have their own limitations now. So you can just copy and paste anything and then just paste it in these platforms. There are actually certain limitations. Like for example, for Gemini, it only processes submission 9. So what you can do, if for example this is not finished, so you can just maybe break down the discussion. So just submit the first half, maybe submit 1 to 5 first, and then after that, when the result will came, you can then upload submissions 6 to 10. So, okay, let's say, can you list down the final score of the students? Okay, so based on the rubric that was provided, these are the score of the students. And let's say, can you make it over 50? It will just basically convert the score to over 50. Oh, it did not make it this time. So there's an explanation. Okay, let's try to force it. Can you convert it instead? Let's see if it will do it. So there's the conversion. So this is out of what? 100, it says. Therefore, the converted scores are out of 100. And if you want to convert it into any other scores, you can just use the calculations that were given here. But we all know that with ChatGPT, it actually converts it into over 50 using this one. This tool. We can actually ask ChatGPT, can you give us the formula on how you converted the score? It will just give us the formula. So it's basically the score over 4 because 4 is the highest level, and then divided by, score divided by 4, which is the highest level, and then times 50. So that makes us over 50 for this particular submission. So again, those are some of the capabilities in terms of how do you score an essay question if you want to use generative AI. So it's as easy as, if you don't have a rubric yet, let let the platform create the rubric for you. Now, if you are satisfied with the rubric, you can then use the rubric against the submission of the student, and then let the platform let ChatGPT or Gemini or Perplexity or Cloud for that matter, let the tool rate the submission for you. And then if you are satisfied with the result, you can then mark it as the final score and submit the score to your students. So I guess that's it, Sir Fred, in terms of how do you use or how do you utilize generative AI in scoring, particularly essay questions. Any question, by the way?
Okay, you can ask question, or now it's the time for the open forum. So you may use the Zoom reactions button at the lower part of the Zoom meeting, and then kindly raise your virtually raise your hand and then unmute yourself. So at this point, Sir Jade, it's an open forum, right?
Right.
Okay. So questions or clarifications? Again, don't worry because this is video recorded. So this is you can view this one in the virtual classroom intended for this semester. So upscaling program for teachers for second semester. So we will just simply upload it in the virtual classroom. Again, we are for those latecomers. So we just simply talk about using ChatGPT and other generative AI for crafting test questions, rubrics, and scoring student responses according to the rubrics as the basis of their score. Okay, so questions so far? So I will give you 2 minutes to think of questions or clarifications. And then before we will turn the screen to get your certificate of attendance and how to get your certificate of attendance, as well as the remaining upscaling session for this second semester. So I will give you 2 minutes to think. Again, you can use the Zoom chat box or you can use the raise hand icon and then unmute yourself. Okay, I think, sir, we have a clarification on this one. Uh, according to Mom Emmeline, hello, sir. Is there a website we could use to check whether an essay submission is simply copied from a certain website?
Yeah. Yeah, yes, Bob. If you are using the submission via MySol, so there's actually a feature in MySol. It's a plugin. It's a built-in feature within our LMS that actually checks plagiarism, or not plagiarism, but similarity checker, if this particular piece of information is taken from somewhere else. Let's just say, for example, taken from another website. So we actually have. Let me just open Soul, so I can show you the said feature. Okay. So let me share my screen two. Okay, so this is like, for example, this is your virtual classroom, and then you want an assignment wherein if, for example, there will be submissions and you want that those submissions will be checked if they are taken somewhere else. So what you can do is just the usual usual assignment, and then on the right side, in the assignment settings, you have this option that says um, in this one, in Turnitin integrity plugin. So basically, Turnitin is a plugin that checks any submission versus a wide array of websites or any online repositories for that matter. So if, for example, a student submits a submission and that particular submission is taken somewhere else, it will be marked as, it will be um, the teacher will actually see that this particular piece of information is taken from a website. Even the source of this, even the original source of this particular information will also be reflected on the Turnitin report. So yes, ma'am, we do have a tool for that. That's a built-in tool in our LMSD. It's called Turnitin plugin. By default, it's disabled. So if you want to enable the Turnitin plugin for your assignments, you can actually do that. Even with quizzes also, for essay items in quiz, you can also enable Turnitin for quizzes. So for Turnitin, sige lang, I will just continue. For Turnitin, we do have two checkers. So the first one is the similarity checker. It basically checks again. It just compares the piece of information submitted versus the online journals, online repositories, websites, if there's like similarity. And then the second one is there's also an AI checker if this particular submission is more or less generated by an AI. So it will also give you a result if this is AI generated or not. So there are two reports in the Turnitin dashboard. You have the similarity report, which is the anti-plagiarism report, and then you have the AI, which is it checks if this particular submission is created by an AI.
Okay, thank you, Sir Jade. And another clarification, Sir Jade. This is from Sir Buenaventura. Do I need to input all the essay answers of the students into the box separated by a number? If I have 40 students, there's a lot of text placed in that box. Is this okay?
Yeah. So yes, sir. So as what I've said earlier, there's a certain limitations in terms of using these platforms. But if we are subscribed to, let's just say, a premium version of ChatGPT, which is ChatGPT 5 or ChatGPT 4, we actually have an option to upload a file. So with that, we can just actually save the file and upload it. But for the free version, the ChatGPT 3 that we are using, we do have to copy and paste. It depends on you, sir, on how you separate the answers. Like, for example, in my case, for me, the easiest way is just copy and paste the responses, put it in Microsoft Word, and then just assign numbering to the responses. It would be easier for me, and for us in based on my experience, it's also easier for ChatGPT to detect the result, the submission. Yeah, you can do that if you have like 40 and you are expecting that this is like one submission probably is like 500 to 1,000 characters or words, then you might as well trim down to the submission. Just maybe you can submit five at a time. So anyway, it would not take that long for ChatGPT to rate it. So like for example, rate this submission, rate this five submissions separated by a number, and then after that, you are going to upload another five, another five. If for example, that particular submission, probably you are expecting around 500 to 1,000 words per submission. Pero if it's not that long, and then you think you can actually try to upload the entire 40 submissions. Then if ChatGPT accepts it, then that's fine. That's fine. But for example, it will actually generate an error if, for example, it cannot give the result. So it will give you an error. So you just have to redo it. So that would be my suggestion, sir. If, for example, ChatGPT will not accept the entire submission because for some reason that's too long, just cut it down, trim it down. If it's 40, try 20, and then if it will not work with 20, then try 10. So something like that.
Okay, thank you, Sir Jade. So at this moment, can I give a virtual thumbs up if we will proceed to the getting of your certificate of attendance? Okay. So here, okay, thank you, Sir Jade. So I will just share the screen now uh, in order to get your certificate of attendance. So I will just give me a minute. Okay. So in this part, uh, in this upskilling session, you are enrolled in a virtual classroom for second semester upscaling program for teachers. So in your MySoul account, you just simply click that particular virtual classroom. So it will lead you to the upscaling sessions, the remaining upscaling session for second semester for teachers. So by default, if you click that virtual classroom, you will be redirected to this particular section. So which is today, so April 3, 2024. So by default, you are already have registered in this particular group of attendees from this session. So you need to evaluate by clicking the evaluation form, and then you will get your certificate of attendance. And then in here also, this is a freebies that this is your number of entries in the raffle draw for our culmination program for second semester. So by the entire end of the second sem, you have a chances to win a brand new laptop or other devices. Okay, so this is pertaining to your number of entries in this particular upscaling session. To view the upscaling session, so you may click the introduction part, and then you just simply click this particular announcement link, or you just simply type this HTTPS, a tiny URL, second semester 2024, or just simply click this particular image and then it will lead you to the upscaling program for the entire Silliman community, as well as we have in person and online. And then from this one, so do you have questions or clarifications? So all of you already are registered in this upscaling session, virtual classroom. Okay, so all of you already registered. So at this point, my request all of the attendees to kindly turn on your camera if your connectivity allows for the photo opportunity. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's wait for the others to turn their camera for the photo op. Okay, we have one frame. Okay. And then how about Sir Kemons and then Mom
Excu-
Lizelle? Okay. Mom Emmeline. Okay. So just okay. You have questions, Sir Pinheiro. Okay,
Am
sir.
I visible already?
Yes,
Mura
yes,
ako.
yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Mura to.
Okay. Sige, sir. Okay, let's have this one. Okay. And just give your best smile. Okay. Ready? One, two, three, smile. Okay, thank you very much for attending, and we'll see you on the next upscaling session. Thank you.